Hello, hello. I'm so excited to talk about the Slam cover with Asia Wilson. What's so great about it is that Sydney Colson wrote it, right? So Asia Wilson does it again. You mad? People are very mad. Subria, you've been on here already talking about this with us. We've been talking about the WNBA season all year. And people were big mad. They were big mad about the Aces winning, about Asia, just lots of madness, right? So I loved the cover. I loved the headline, and I read it, and I love what Sid wrote, and that she got the opportunity to write that. And it wasn't only about Asia; it was also about her experience. It's a really great, it's a really great read. But to me, Asia is one of the, not the only, because we know that there are some women doing it at the college level and other stars that we're going to get to. But Asia is one of, to me, the players, Sabria, that I think is really helping to grow the game right now and take it to another level. She knows how to market herself. She has a great personality. I consider her one of the faces of the W, if not. And so this continued tour she's going on, getting special treatment and flowers from Usher, appearing on talk shows. I just wanted to continue. And I remember you had a tweet, about seeing the WNBA players treated like the way that they're supposed to, the superstars that they are. I'm paraphrasing, so please forgive me if I misquoted you. But I think it's great what's happening. And she is leading the way, and I think people need to follow suit. Curious your thoughts on that, Callie, and then Subria, if you want to weigh in.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned just the fact that Sydney Colson wrote that piece, and I think that's part of what you're saying. The more that we get to learn about these players, the more that we love them. Of course, Asia is a star. I feel like it's established. But Sydney is someone who I am so obsessed with because her talents know no bounds. She is hilarious. You can hear her singing, but this piece that she wrote is actually really great. And there's something in there that she wrote was that she saw someone say that there's never been a team more entertaining than the Aces since the 2016 Cavaliers. And she pushed back against it by saying women are always more entertaining than the men.
Right.
And I feel like the Aces are proving that. Asia is proving that. I saw her on the Paul Feinbaum show, and she's talking about her book, and she's just vulnerable, saying I'm a human being. I have stuff that I go through, and she's willing to put herself out there, which I think is so valuable. That's why this league keeps growing, because I think they're willing to, open up and show who they are. So the product on the court is great. And then these players are incredible as well. And so that was really exciting to me. I just loved the Slam cover. I loved what Sydney Colson wrote. I love what's happening for Asia. It made me happy.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts on it, Sabria?
Yeah. So I love what the Aces are doing on the court, but off the court, I think they're also setting a new standard for what content and opportunities we should be seeing, WNBA players put out and get. I think this is a fantastic example of how the league, other leagues, other teams can actually capitalize on all of their players, because there's this, I won't even call it a running joke, but more so just a fact of Sydney Colson now becoming a face of the league. And I think her writing this piece about Asia is a great example of how you can have a face of a league or a team and a franchise player, and they don't have to be the same people. And so people are doing themselves a disservice when they limit these opportunities to just their quote unquote franchise players, because that's more so on the court. So if you tap into those who are leading the team on the court, but you also have these great personalities like Sydney Colson, who is a star, regardless of what she's able to show us in the minutes that she gets on the court, we are seeing them mesh together so well. And I want more people to take notes.
Yeah. You know who I want to take notes? Look, it even says it in my feed. I want SKIMS to take notes. That's what I want, because their partnership was announced, Subria, and I know you have some strong thoughts on this, so I want to hear from you. But they announced the partnership this week. They're the official partner for the NBA, WNBA, USA basketball. But Skims has already worked with women's basketball with Team USA. And it's odd to me because they are more known for women's underwear like that. I mean, for women, I'm not saying only, but that's what they're more known for. And they announced this in connection with their new men's line. And so it's an odd choice because your woman's a brand. It's an odd choice because the Vegas Aces just won the championship. It's another odd choice because A'ja Wilson has actually modeled for you before. So you could tap back into that. And yet I'm seeing pictures of, no disrespect to SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you're a wonderful player, but I'm seeing him all over the place. I'm seeing Nick Bosa. I'm seeing, soccer players. And I'm just wondering, did they get the memo? Did they miss the memo? What's going on here, Subria?
Listen, I don't know if I don't even want to point all the blame at Skims. I don't know if I should be more upset at Skims or maybe the league, because everyone saw Skims create this underwear collection for USA women's basketball in 2021. So when you have A'ja in this campaign, they win gold. A'ja comes back home, wins the championship last year. These conversations should have already been taking place. I don't think it should have had to wait until Skims came out with this men's line for this partnership to be announced. And to me, it seems like the WNBA was an afterthought, that Skims was focused on the NBA and wanting to wait until they had this menswear collection. And then because of the umbrella of the organization and the NBA's relationship to the WNBA, they kind of just we're like, okay, well, come on in. But it was like, but no, like you should have and could have done this 2 years ago when you had this sleepwear collection with USA women's basketball. Like, I don't understand. To me, it's a little off-putting, a little disrespectful. I read in the article that the goal between Skims and the NBA is to get more women into the NBA by Skims. Like, so you think we weren't already here? Like, yeah. I'm confused. I'm not a fan, but
I see you making some faces there, Callie. What's up? What you gotta say?
I think Subria's answer just got me a little riled up because she's talking about A'ja was right there. And then in my head, I'm thinking, you know what else Asia's right there for? A signature shoe with Nike. Like I'm ready to go to war now because Subria's got me all hyped up. But I do think that just in the vein of Skims, I was more curious just about the specifics of the partnership, which of course we didn't get. We know that it's going to come alive at marquee events, including like the All-Star game, in-season tournament, and the brand will benefit, right? They'll get media exposure. Kim K and her mom are about that money. So they're going to get that money and that exposure for the brand. But I'm like, how is this benefiting the league? That's what I want to know. And even in addition to A'ja Wilson being right there, remember Lexi Brown was calling for a Skims partnership for a while too. So I don't know. I'm not someone who spends money on Kardashian products. And so I just want to know how it's been for the league.
Yeah. I mean, they said something about them getting equity or something. At least the NBA, I'm not sure what really is the partnership goals with them in the WNBA. But I will just say before I give it back to y'all, if we're talking about a menswear collection and a women's wear collection, and you have all these women in the WNBA, I better see some mask presenting players get this deal and activate these partnerships or whatever that looks like, or we're going to have another conversation. So I definitely want Lexi to get her, her campaign off. I love A'ja, but I need to see some Courtney Williams, some Kalia Copper, some Brittany Sykes. I need to see them be represented in this campaign as well.
I'm so glad you made that point because I was going to ask you about that. But for people who may not be as familiar with those players and are new to the WNBA and just may not know as much about the LGBTQ plus community, can you explain a little bit what you mean by mass presenting players?
Yes. So, I mean, basically everything we do has essentially goes back to European standards of beauty, right? And so you have this league of the WNBA that is majority Black, women of color, but then there are a lot of players who are more femme presenting, regardless of their sexual orientation. So presenting, like we talked about A'ja Wilson and Lexi Brown, right? Great examples of players who wear makeup, their hair. You can look at them and tell, right, they probably use she, her pronouns. And then you have other players who are more mass presenting, who you may look at them and think they're non-binary. They also, the WNBA also has player AD. And so these are players who probably might shop on like Fashion Nova men, instead of Fashion Nova women's section. And so just, again, regardless of sexual orientation, people who conform to the social construct, one side of the spectrum, who don't at all. I want to see everyone be able to be represented in this campaign. And so I really hope they do right by that and show the true diversity of the WNBA and not just sticking to those who might, wear makeup or 40-inch weaves or whatever.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.